This is Goku-san DBZ. Welcome for a special info update. My next video will be comic book pickups. But I thought I'm playing music in the background, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. I thought it was only right to do some music involving a property, because I'm sure you heard the major news today. The acquisition, and that's what this video is about, the acquisition of 20th or 21st Century Fox, what do you want to call it, 20th Century Fox, today was acquired and purchased by, of course, none other than the Walt Disney Company. And I've known about this for a little over a month now, that they were in discussions. But I was going to make a video until knew for a fact, but it is confirmed by all major media outlets today. Now, first off, what this acquisition entails is this, very much basics, and that is that this will not include the Fox News or, of course, Fox Sports, because that would be considered a complete monopoly overall on that area. Because Fox News, of course, is the most dominant news outlet in North America. And that's, yeah, if you don't believe me, you can look it up on Google. Look at the ratings. Kind of proves itself. News Corp also is its own separate entity from, of course, the others. But they want to keep a hold of those particular divisions. That's where really or as they call themselves now, 21st Century Fox, whatever. That really confuses me. One is 20th Century Fox, one is 21st Century Fox. It makes no sense to me whatsoever, but whatever. But yeah, that will not be affected. However, with the acquisition deal made, Disney already, first of all, owned a 30% shares in, of course, the well-known second largest streaming service here in North America, Hulu, of normals, excluding Amazon. If you include Amazon, then I guess Hulu would be third place. But Disney did own 30% of that. 10% was owned by Time Warner. 30% is owned by, of course, I believe it's Comcast, if I remember correctly, or it's NBC Universal, I forget, but Comcast owns the NBC Universal, so whatever. And 30% was owned by Fox, but that 30% is part of the deal that went in with the purchase by Disney. So, Disney now owns not only their 30% share, they now control the 30% share that Fox had. So, basically, Disney now controls 60% of all stock shares in Hulu, which means now, of course, with over 51%, that means Disney now owns and controls Hulu. So, it will be curious to see in the near future, to see up next year, how that affects everything in that area. I will be curious to see how Hulu is affected. As somebody who is a big fan of Hulu myself, I watch Hulu a lot for anime, as well as, of course, for WWE, Raw, SmackDown, as well as Gotham, Lucifer, and many other great shows. But, which incidentally were Fox-owned properties. So, that means every normal TV show that Fox made is now owned by the Walt Disney Company. And, of course, along with that, that includes all regular Disney television, as I said, with the exception of sports and news divisions. That entails all other networks, so like FX and all of those. By the way, also Sky. And for those of you like me here in America who may not know what Sky is a streaming service, much like Netflix or Hulu in the UK. So you could say it's the UK's equivalent to like Netflix. Netflix is big, but not that big outside North America. Same with Hulu. But Sky, and by the way, that is 35% of all stock shares in Sky were owned by Fox, and now Disney controls 35% of all shares. And it's been said that Disney is already eyeing to purchase an additional 16% shares, so that gives them the majority 51% shares in order to control Sky, which is the #1 streaming service with an estimated 17 million subscribers in the UK, which their population is a little over 60 million. So that means basically they're going to have a very big presence in the UK, as well as a streaming service. In fact, the largest streaming service currently available in India, majority share was owned by Fox. So now, Disney not only is like the second largest shareholder in Sky now, the major shareholder in Hulu, they are also the #1 shareholder of the top streaming service in India. So that drastically increases the power and influence of the Disney company overseas in Europe and over in Asia now. That's a mass amount of people influence in India. Though I don't know the actual numbers over how many people get streaming in India. With that said, on to the biggest part, of course, of the purchase of Fox. That includes also, of course, all their movie properties. And also, if you want an instance of one major TV show now they control, Simpsons is now owned by Disney. So we'll see how that plays out. That should be interesting, to say the least. Also, with that said, that also entails other Fox stuff, such as some people may not know, Fox owns all copyrights and everything, by the way, to the original version of Star Wars: A New Hope, which means now Disney controls all copyrights of the unaltered version of the Star Wars original films. They didn't own all of them because Lucas didn't have full control over the original unaltered versions. Fox did. But with this deal, Disney now controls the unaltered versions, which means in the near future, don't be surprised if Disney releases for the first time ever on Blu-ray the unaltered versions of the original Star Wars trilogy. Don't be so surprised, because that'll be billions of dollars right there Disney will make. Also, that entails they gain the copyrights to James Cameron's, of course, the juggernaut, largest grossing movie of all time, Avatar. And, of course, the Avatar sequels, which are in the works right now. They're filming Avatar 2 right now, which is scheduled right now, slated for like a 2019-2020 release date. I forget exactly which year, because they keep changing the release dates. But that's really no surprise. Disney World has a Pandora section to the theme park, which Pandora is, of course, the world in Avatar, so that doesn't surprise me at one bit. Avatar seems like something that would be perfect property for Disney. Being a sci-fi fantasy, it's perfect up Disney's alley, in all honesty. Next up, franchise. That also gives them the copyrights to the Predator movies, and even bigger, the created by Ridley Scott franchise, Alien. Disney now owns and controls the Alien franchise. That's pretty big, to say the least. Also, besides Avatar, Predator, Aliens, that also gives them the copyrights and control to another little franchise which just had a new movie this year, Planet of the Apes. The Ape franchise is now owned by Disney. And now let's talk about the biggies. Disney now owns and controls Deadpool. Disney now owns and controls Fantastic Four. Finally! It's about bloody time, too. And, of course, the biggest of all. Disney now owns and controls X-Men. All of these properties will now, probably, most likely, very soon, be joining the Marvel Cinematic Universe. We'll see how that plays out. That should be interesting. We'll see how things, maybe that means my personal dream will come true someday soon. Imagine Avengers versus X-Men, or X-Men versus the Avengers, or heck, maybe we'll finally get a buddy cop type comedy movie with Deadpool and Spider-Man. Just saying. Or, better yet, we could introduce, but for the most part, I hope, honestly, they seriously keep Deadpool rated R. I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, if they keep Fox as its own independent studio, as they've done with Marvel and as they've done with Lucasfilms. I would not be surprised, because they make it take advantage of this now, and keep Fox as its own separate little business, I guess you could say, still controlled by Disney, but they could use that as a separate studio under their control in order to distribute rated R films, because we know under the Marvel logo, MCU, there's not going to be a rated R film in the MCU. There's not going to be a rated R film under the Disney logo because of its family image. But if they keep Fox, 20th Century Fox, independent, then we could very well soon see it producing R films like Alien, Predator. Heck, there's a lot of possibilities in the near future, but we may finally get a truly good, Fantastic Four film. Which is interesting because, by the way, in case you didn't know, Chris Evans, Captain America, also played the Human Torch in the first two Fantastic Four movies from the mid-2000s. Just FYI. With that said, this is just a little update. I thought you all might be interested to hear some of this news about the official purchase today of 20th Century Fox, purchased by the Walt Disney Company, of course, thanks to Bob Iger. And thanks to this success, they announced Bob Iger's contract has been extended for 2 more years. Bob Iger right now will be head of Disney at least until 2021. So I'll see you all next time. Same YouTube time, same YouTube channel. See you soon enough back here in YouTube land. And stay tuned for some upcoming comic book reviews. Fighting theme, that is.